So hello everybody, we're here for the end of the month. This will be the last video that will be late going up. And we are reviewing...
Right.
We have two drinks today from Final Fantasy XII.
Advanced Tactics was better.
Much better. Anything was better.
Except of course, well actually, this seems to be a pattern in Final Fantasy games, so if you do one thing wrong at the start, you can't beat it. Remember the chocobo grass?
So the game may have been crap, but we didn't know that before we picked what drink we were doing for the month of March. So you may notice that I have 4 drinks sitting in front of me. That's because we spend so much time plugging Sunny D, hashtag not sponsored, but call us.
Liz is in here.
That
I think.
We made the same drink, same 2 drinks twice. Once with normal orange juice with pulp because we're not heathens.
Some pulp because we enjoy drinking, not chewing.
Okay, still with pulp, we're not heathens.
Yes.
And once with Sunny D to see if it makes a difference and if it's better. I can say right now, color-wise, I think you can tell me which one looks better, and it's the Sunny D. And that's true for both drinks.
It's the yellow 5 and 6, man.
So we'll start with the Cactuar. They say this is a mixed drink. These are both from the Drunken Moogle, but this is a tiny mixed drink. So if it weren't for the fact that we're doing 4, I would have made them a double. But I can say right now that once again, this one kind of looks like a weird thing.
I can say right now, I'm not sure where this color came from.
Yeah, I think it's the pulp in the lime juice and the orange juice and the pineapple juice combined. That's a lot of pulp.
Why isn't yours that color?
I think you got more pulp than me.
Delicious.
Whereas this looks like the right color for a Cactuar, and I can see where it's coming from. So which do we want to...
really that aquamarine?
Yeah.
To make the Cactuar, combine 1 cl of tequila, 2 cl of blue cookies, 2.5 cl of orange juice, 2 cl of pineapple juice, 1 cl of lime juice, and 1 cl of coin tree.
Alright, let's try it.
Hashtag regrets already.
That's actually pretty good.
As it turns out, my intense love of orange juice cancels out my intense hate of tequila.
Orange juice plus lime juice plus pineapple juice.
I mean, the orange juice is the part I love the most.
Plus blue cookie.
Which I wasn't a huge fan of.
But it's okay.
I think the blue cookie and the gala make it so the orange juice is the most overpowering flavor, which is good.
Yeah,
well, strongest, not overpowering.
They mix into the orange. The tequila gives it a bit of a bite. But overall, it's...
Don't be doing it, but...
I wouldn't say it's sweet, but it's...
It still gets a lot of the orange juice flavor, just with that little bit of alcohol bite at the end.
You know when you eat an orange raw, and you can't really say it's sweet because it's got that citrus bite to it if it's a nice fresh orange, but it's still sweet?
Actually, you know what it's almost like? Taking a bite of an orange with the skin in it.
I wouldn't know what that tastes like.
You get that bit of a weird flavor from the skin, which is almost a bitter, but it's still the sweet from the orange.
I honestly really liked that.
I mean, I wouldn't have the second really, but maybe not even the first, but I still liked it.
So here's the question, are we going to do 2 different scores for each of them?
I mean, I feel that would be most fair.
So then, this one, I would give an 8. It's not a 9, I'm not like, I'm gonna go make another one of them right now, and it's not a 10, where I'm like, pause this video, I'm gonna go make another one.
I mean, I'd give it a 7, because I still wouldn't want them a lot. I still would get enough of that tequila flavor that I'm not a huge fan of it, but still good.
Which, coming from him who hates tequila, that's saying a lot. Orange juice is cheap, tequila's middling, but you don't use a lot of it. Lime juice, we already discussed, or we will discuss next month, is cheap. Point is, we didn't use a lot of it for this drink. It was, what was it, 2.5 CL, so if you were doubling, it'd be 5 CL, which is about a shot and a half. Little over a shot and a half.
Not much.
No.
I didn't even see the bottle go down.
Bottle definitely did go down, but that's because we made
4 drinks with it?
8 drinks
Oh,
with it.
yeah, because you messed up so many.
No, there's more than these. So technically, we made 15 of the amount for these, and the bottle still didn't go down very much. So tequila may be on the expensive side, but that's not a big deal.
Grand Gala, it is the cheaper of the things, seeing as they actually did want the...
They wanted us to use Cointreau, which is like $40 to $50
Do we still have that tiny bottle that we were going to test it with?
We do, but
where?
Blue Cookies was cheap, really cheap. That was
Yeah.
like, what, $7 when we got it?
I mean, we did see a couple more expensive prices, so it could vary, but overall on the cheaper side.
Yeah. So overall, I'd call it a 6 for cost, because there's a couple of higher end ingredients, but you won't use a lot of them.
And is 3 about half juice, half alcohol.
So,
I can agree with 6.
drinkability. Mine's gone, his is gone. How often does that happen?
How often do we get a drink that's 2 mouthfuls?
Okay, that's also true.
Pudding, calm thine bodacious tatas. You don't have either of those.
I will call it a 7 on drinkability. I couldn't just chug it.
No, I definitely had to take the pause in between them, but I can agree with the 7.
Yeah. Ease of making. Here's the catch-22. The measurements were easy. Swapping to a speed pour has made this so much easier to measure.
Until the juice happened.
Okay, until the juice. Yeah, until the juice happened.
Until the juice
where I've got
nation
this
attacked.
huge bottle and I'm going.
Hey, I could have grabbed the bigger one.
It's annoying and difficult to measure the juices, but that's true of a lot of things, and everything else is easy to measure. But it's very small numbers, even if we were to double it. So I want to call these a 6.
Yeah, 6, because of the annoying measurements.
Okay. Likelihood of making me an alcoholic. Alright, disregarding how much I've already had to drink because that was my own stupidity. 5. It's not super duper ridiculously stupid easy that I would make a lot of it. It's not delicious enough that I would go out of my way to deliberately make it.
I see where you're coming from. I'm personally going to say a 3, just because presuming at some point that we live separately, I'm not going to have tequila in my house to make it.
Alright, now to compare to the Sunny D version.
How sunny is your D?
Hey Sarah, how sunny is my D?
It's disappointing.
Does not blend as well.
Sunny D, I'm disappointed in you.
It's still pretty good, but I don't think it blends as well because there's already so much more going on in Sunny D.
And it doesn't taste like oranges, like natural orange juice. So I was getting 2 different orange flavors, one from the Blue Cookies and the Cointreau, and one from the Sunny D, or Gala, whatever, and one from the Sunny D.
It's easier for me to pronounce than coin cookies.
So I honestly liked the first one better.
Yeah, I mean Sunny D was still
Also, the Sunny D
alright.
didn't mask the alcohol flavor as much.
Not nearly as much, no.
Which made the Sunny D and the Blue Cookies clash.
You almost
a
got
lot more.
3 arguing flavors.
Yeah.
They were still like it's like a soft, it's like when you go out and you have a couple and their parents arguing in a restaurant in the booth next to you, where it's still not a bad experience out, but it's kind of annoying. That is a super abstract thing. I am very sorry about that.
I would say that the 3 battling flavors are that in the first one, you didn't really taste the tequila because it blended in with the natural bite of the orange juice. Sunny D lacks that bite because it's, what did we say, 95% water and...
About 93 overall. Just
93% water and sugar. So...
And it does specifically label itself as smooth.
Instead, the tequila had nothing to blend into the background of it to accentuate, so it stood out on its own. So you had the tequila in this little box of your taste buds, then you had the Sunny D, and then you had the natural orange flavors of the Gala, and the blue cookies.
The other juices did still blend with the Sunny D though, because it's a citrus
Right.
cocktail. It still had them in there.
The
Except
lime and the pineapple mixed with the Sunny D, and they mixed with the blue cookie Gala part.
I think that's all that was really holding that one together, though.
Right, and when you've got the 3 different flavors, and while there's some bridging flavors, you have a third flavor that nothing's really lining up with.
Well, I'd almost
It
say
was still tasty. It wasn't bad. Don't get
it
us
almost
wrong.
kind of still call a Venn diagram. You got the lime and the pineapple in the middle, and then everything's a circle off of it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We sound like we're complaining a lot, but we're only complaining
Because we're comparing it to that.
Exactly.
It's still a pretty good drink.
because we just had a great drink. Well, okay, not
A
great.
solid.
A
A
very
good
good
drink.
drink.
A good
Very
drink.
good.
This was a solid drink.
Right, we had a very good drink. This was just a solid drink. I might have 4 or 5 of these. I might have 2 of these. So taste. I don't want to go into points, but I'm torn between 6 and 7. I don't think it was bad enough to be a 6, but I don't think it was good enough to be a 7.
Well, I would go for 6 just because I got more of the tequila. That was my issue with the thing I really liked with the other was that I didn't get that tequila. So that the fact that I did taste more of that does bring it down to the 6 for me. Not enough to be a 5 though.
But I feel like it was still too good to be a 6, because 6 is just over average. I'm going with 7. I'm going with 7 because 6 is simply too low.
Again,
we're not doing decimals.
I can see where you're going with that. I just don't like tequila that much.
If we were doing decimals, I'd put it somewhere between a 6.5 and a 6.7. Not as high as a 6.8.
Yeah, I'd probably go 6.5 as well if we're doing decimals. It is still a good drink, just
Yes.
tequila.
Cost, it's the same. We can't reasonably call it any better or lower. Drinkability, it was harder to drink.
Yeah, I almost had to take a 3rd sip because it doesn't blend as well.
I'm gonna
have to call it a 6.
Yeah, I gotta call it a 6 as well. Its easel's exactly the same though.
Yeah, it's the same measurements.
Well, the likelihood of making me an alcoholic, I've gotta call that a 5. No, I've gotta call that a 4. I'm not gonna deliberately make it with Sunny D again. It was still good, but if you give me the option, I'm gonna make it with normal, so I gotta call it a 4.
I'm not going to bring it all the way to a 1, but a 2.
So final scores are, using normal orange juice, the drink comes out at a 6.2. Little bit above average. It came down a bit because of the ease, alcoholicness, and cost. But still an above average drink.
Well, I'd say it's mostly my score and alcoholishness that really brought it down.
Yeah.
Because everything else was 6s and 7s.
However, with Sunny D, it came down to a 5.5. General lower scores overall and still being dragged down by his alcoholic score brings it down to an average drink. Like we'll say next month, it's not great, it's not bad, it's just not really doing too much for me.
Yeah. And I actually agree with it this month.
Let's move on to our second drink, the Phoenix Down. Because after that one, I could do it being brought back to life.
For the Phoenix Down, combine 1 CL of Coin Trio, 1 CL of tequila, 1 CL of orange juice, and 1/2 CL of grenadine.
We'll start with normal orange juice. Phoenix Down. Alcohol. Well, it's very auspicious that that was a double shot.
Can I have another cactuar instead of this one?
It was still good for a shot.
Yeah.
I don't tend to do shots because I prefer either a mixed drink or to do shots straight, not mixed shots.
I think that's also because you have to make them.
And I'll say this, I deliberately made it a double so that the measurements weren't horrible. I gotta call it a 6.
I would call it a 5 just because I don't do shots and I don't do tequila.
Essentially, there weren't enough other flavors to blend. So you had the slightly bitter natural orange, you had the super sweet gala, and then in the middle you had the tequila trying to drag them together. And then as a fourth flavor, you had grenadine as super duper sweet, so you almost had the bitter side and the sweet side, except instead of blending like a bittersweet mixture, they clashed really hard. They still blended in some parts, like orange with orange, bitter with sweet was still a nice blend, but they didn't blend enough.
And the orange with sweet was kind of nice.
They didn't blend enough to really work, though. Cost, I cannot actually rate this cost lower than the Cactuar because the only ingredients we're cutting out basically cost nothing.
Yeah, it's the cookies. We turned it into grenadine and some of the juices.
Drinkability. I did the shot in one go, and it is a double shot, but I'm gonna call it a 5.
I didn't want to do it in one go. I'm gonna call it a 4.
Ease of making. I hate small numbers. Although with that said, almost everything was like a 2 count, so that wasn't that much.
Yeah, he didn't look like he was having that much trouble, except when he put the wrong thing in.
So actually, now that I'm using speed pour,
that did make it a lot easier for you, yeah.
So actually, it's not that bad doing small numbers. I still don't like small numbers, but I'll call the ease a 5. Because they're small numbers, there's not a lot of them.
I can't argue with it.
It's perfectly average. And trying to measure out 3 cl or 3 tablespoons for a double. Imagine trying to measure a tablespoon and a half of orange juice. I don't want to do that. That would be a normal shot, would be a tablespoon and a half of orange juice.
I don't know how you do that, Steve. You actually get a tablespoon out. You tip the thing kind of sideways and you put it in the giant opening.
It would still be obnoxious. I'm calling it a 5.
Not nearly as obnoxious, though.
I'm still calling it a 5.
I'm still saying I agree with the 5. I'm just saying that's how you should do that.
Likelihood of making me an alcoholic, 4. I don't intend to make another one of these.
3.
Actually, I have to agree with him now that he said the number 3. I'm probably never going to make another one of these unless someone else asks for it when we're having like a party or something else, and they look at our recipe of drinks we have the ingredients to make and they see, oh, shot, Phoenix Down, I want that. Sure, go ahead. Onwards to the Sunny D version.
I missed. I'm saying no, by the way.
No, I say yes. I actually think that the bitterness...
It's tequila Sunny D.
No, there's more in it than Sunny D.
I'm saying that's what I'm effectively getting. It might be my intense hatred for tequila, but...
For me, the tequila helps make up for the overbearing sweetness of Gala, Sunny D, and... essentially sugar with cherries in it, because that's what grenadine is. That's a lot of sweet combined together, and then when you add in the tequila, it cuts through that sweetness and allows the aftertaste to have more of a flavor. That was actually better with the Sunny D.
Yep, I will agree to that, except I don't like the tequila aftertaste.
I'm actually gonna go up to an 8 on that, back up to the first Cactuar.
I gotta keep it a 5, because I still am not a fan of it. I definitely see the improvements, but it's just too much tequila for me. It brings it to the tequila too much to the forefront.
So the question, I guess, is do you enjoy and or tolerate tequila, or do you hate it? He hates it. Absolutely hates it. Only drink I've never seen him finish his ones with tequila in it.
Post that one next month?
Or other ones that he hates. This cost is literally the same.
Yeah. Same thing as before.
But drinkability, that was even easier to drink. I'm gonna call that a 7. Not an 8 again, but a 7. It just went down so much smoother. It didn't have that catch in the back of my mouth like the first one did, where I was getting it halfway down and then my mouth went, what are you doing? This just went down easy, smooth.
I mean, I can bring mine up to a 5, but again, tequila. That's really holding these back. I don't think it would work with anything else, but I'm sorry, Mr. Tequila Man, no.
Ease is the same.
Yep, it's the same stuff.
Likelihood of making me an alcoholic. I'm gonna make this again. I guarantee I'm gonna make this again. And that says something because I don't like shots and I hate measuring all that stuff. With that said, I don't like shots. I don't like measuring all this stuff. So I'm gonna call it a 5, perfectly average. I'll make it again, but I won't go out of my way to make it again because when I sit down and drink, usually I want to sip it. I want to take my time. This will be for when I'm, say, playing a game and it's like, oh, something went wrong. Bam.
I'm keeping a 3. We've discussed tequila before. I feel like I've said the same 3 words a lot this episode.
Final scores are for the version using real orange juice is a 4.8, below average.
Not much below, but below.
Right. It is the epitome of, if I was offered it, I definitely wouldn't turn it down. It's not that bad. I wouldn't order it off a menu. I wouldn't pay for it. Well, I might pay for it if it was the most interesting thing on the menu, but overall not
If
really.
that's the most interesting thing on your menu, you need a new menu.
You'd be surprised with some of the microbreweries I've been to. In comparison with Sunny D, it jumped up 0.5 full points. And I know that doesn't sound like much, but in a 1 to 10 scale, there's not much room to jump. To a 5.3, just over average. It was good. I might order at a bar if we were doing shots. No, I would 100% order it at a bar if we were doing shots. But
when was the last time we went to a bar and did shot?
if we didn't have that setup, I wouldn't make it. It wouldn't be worth going out and specifically buying the ingredients to make it. If the ingredients are already there, great. If the ingredients aren't, I
Not
don't
too
feel
much
like
of
it's
a
any
loss.
loss. Yeah. So it's just above average by a tiny bit. So by all means, if you've already got the ingredients, check out what we made. But nothing we made came in over a 6.2. So I guess you'll have to wait.
That said, if you are not me with tequila, then you probably would enjoy the Cactuar with the actual orange juice. Sorry, Sunny D, but there was just too much going on in there for you to blend with.
With that said, though, Sunny D worked a lot better in the Phoenix Town.
It works better in simpler drinks, is I think the kind of moral there with Sunny D.
So we'll see.
Sunny D is already almost perfect by itself. Don't add too much to it.
So we'll see you next month, or rather next week, pretty much, with another drink
You mean yesterday?
that will tease what's going to be upcoming as a game.
Tease specifically state in the opening.
And then after that, well, we'll have to see. Don't know yet. Have a good day, and hopefully have something delicious to drink.
Shalom.